Well, we've got the tree up, but this year we've got a unicorn. Luna's also been enjoying the Christmas tree and the toy that is larger than her entire body. Extreme morning face. But then I found this limited edition gold frankincense and myrrh chocolate bar that I bought my wife months ago and totally forgotten. It actually contains gold and actually contains frankincense and actually contains myrrh. Myrrh. Got to get my skills up for a couple of months from now. Done. At the last Dorje gig that I played, one of the people that came to see us gave me this pickup. I just wanted to say thank you so much, random man who thrust this upon my hands. It's all I remember you saying is it's a Gus G pickup that you've rewired to be different, so I'll try it out. Thank you very much. And actually that brings me on to the subject of today's video. Yes, Luna. Which is opening mail. I was a bit embarrassed to do this, but then I saw that Casey Neistat does it all the time, and I figured, you know what, probably I should open the mail and say thank you to the people that sent it, because some of them are incredibly touching. I was on a tour, I don't remember which tour, and I don't even remember which gig, but this guy gave me this, and he just passed his initiation or part of joining the Navy, and this is what you get given, I think I remember, when you do that, and he gave it to me, which meant an awful lot, so thank you so much to the guy that gave me this. My wife made this rather beautiful Christmas flower arrangement, but the inside of the jar looks like the Dagobah system. Apologies to anybody actually from Dagobah. Obviously I'll try and get through as much as I can. If you want to send me mail, that's awesome, thank you so much, and you can send it to Andertons Music Company. This one's even got a wax seal. Check that out, haven't seen a wax seal in years. So this letter's from a guy called Greg Bullman. Hey Chappers, wanted to write you a quick letter for a couple of reasons. Firstly, to say a big thank you for the amazing videos you put on YouTube that helped me so much to improve all aspects of my playing, and more importantly, motivated him to improve way beyond the player he was last year. That's really cool. It's awesome sort of getting feedback from people. I know a lot of people think, oh, he's heard it 100 times. You know, when people meet me, they go, you probably heard this 100 times, but I love your videos and I learn a lot from some of the lessons you've made. But every time someone says that, it's still really awesome, and it still really means a lot to me, so thank you. Okay, so one of the questions that Greg is asking is, how do you transition from sort of learning and playing scales into actually creating melody and music? And I think the honest answer there is you need to listen to a lot of music, and you need to go still and quiet and listen to what it is in your head that you want to get out. Because music doesn't just come from playing the guitar, music it's in here, yeah? So you want to listen to the tunes in your head and then get them out onto the guitar. Alternatively, you can just improvise until something pops out that you like the sound of, but that's way more of a random format. You're better off singing to yourself, humming to yourself, and just listening and seeing what's in your head. What's in your head, Greg? He's also saying that when he watches my videos, it seems like I can kind of almost absent-mindedly bust out some pretty cool blues licks. Is that just a case of nailing a few and working them into your live vocabulary? Yes, it is, absolutely. You just got to learn, 50, 100 blues licks, write a couple of your own, and then work them until they become a natural part of your vocabulary, and then you're away, as long as they're in all 5 positions and not just one. Thank you, Greg. Oh. Better. Cinnamon raisin bagel, split avocado. Slice it into tiny, tiny, enjoyable pieces. Smash it up. Tomato, salt and pepper, done. This one's a little bit unorthodox. Okay, so this is the guy who gave me a massive pack of Tim Tams. Now, if you're an English guy, you'll probably know that a Tim Tam is a penguin biscuit in England, but in Australia, I think, they are Tim Tams. And what this nice guy has done is he's given me a guide on how to eat Tim Tams. much eating because I did already read this and I have already eaten all of the Tim Tams. So thank you so much to the gentleman who unfortunately didn't leave his name on the Tim Tam guide, but I'm just going to call you Tim. Okay, so this letter is from Madrid and it's from a guy called Fernando Ordoqui. He's a guitar player and amateur designer. He's the t-shirt guy. So this guy has worked on a bunch of really cool guitar t-shirts that actually I picked up and just been wearing on videos for ages. And I hadn't opened the letter that came with the t-shirts to know that they were his t-shirts. So if you've seen the t-shirt that says Humbucker, or I've got a load of them, if you see them, they are from Fernando. So what this is Fernando's request for me to be involved in his t-shirt business and do some promotions for him. Now, unfortunately I can't because I'm involved in 2 limited companies and I run 5 areas of business, including my own t-shirt area. So there'd be a clash of interest there, and I don't have the time with a baby on the way and everything else that I do. But I do love the t-shirts, so if I ever wear one, what I will do is in the comment section below, or the show more section, I will absolutely link this guy's name. And especially the one that said, "This machine kills hipsters." I thought that was great. I just found these and remembered I was going to string my 8-string, but I have 0 experience with string gauges. 0 of my own experience using an 8-string and string gauges. So I just got a 7-string set, which is 11 to 64, and then I bought an individual 74. I normally use 10 to 52 in drop C sharp. If anybody's got any experience, let me know if you think this is probably too light. I don't know. Gonna find out. So the next letter's from Norwich, which is in Norfolk, and it's from Dougie Wright, who's 15 years old, and he says that he's primarily a blues guitar player with a bit of rock and roll. This is just a letter of thanks, which is really nice and also quite unusual. And he wants us to play in Norwich next time we tour, which won't be for a while because I'm taking a little bit of time off to be a dad. Thanks, man. Thank you, Dougie. Really appreciate that. Very nice of you. And I'm sure that at some point I will meet you and personally get to hug your face with my face. Okay, so this letter comes from New Zealand, and it came with this box, and it says, "Kai ora, Mr. Chapman," which I'm guessing is New Zealand language Maori. Wow. So this guy, at a really young age, discovered that he had insanely perceptive hearing. After he got knocked on the head, some audiologists did some tests and discovered that he could listen to some ridiculous frequencies, putting him in the top 0.05 of people in the world for tone recognition, which is that's practically superhuman. He's like a canine, a human canine. So he ended up working in the industry, got a job pretty much straight away in a place called Taupo, and worked with some pretty huge acts. For example, Iron Maiden, 9 Inch Nails. That's really, really cool. So while he was working, there was an accident, and there was a huge bang while he was on the rig, and he fell to the ground, and someone had tripped a 40 amp 3-phase power cable, ripping it from the socket and plugged it back in. So he got 40 amps through a 200k stack straight into his ears. He was bleeding, taken to the hospital, and he ruptured his eardrum. Now, I've ruptured both of my eardrums through illness. I got ill as a kid. They both burst, so I know how it feels to burst from the inside out but not the outside in. I suspect it's worse. So when he went back to work after this accident, he discovered he had vertigo, dizzy spells. This is quite common for ear damage. He couldn't go up ladders. I'm imagining that he was unable to work anymore. He had damage to his inner ear from the speaker explosion. So then, due to the damage that the speaker had caused to his inner ear and whatever else, apparently he had a stroke at the age of 32. Essentially, it just got progressively worse. He ended up with Meniere's disease, tinnitus, all sorts of horrible things just from a stupid accident. It really just goes to show how insanely important it is to wear things like ear protection and just make sure that your crew knows exactly what they're doing, because shit like this will ruin a person's career. So basically the poor guy ended up without work back home and went through a really, really difficult time. I'm not going to give you all the details because it's pretty intense. He found me through the had a gig for under £500 challenge, which was a really stupid video actually. It's really weird when you think about shooting something as stupid as that to find that it helps somebody so far, like literally the other side of the world from me. But he saw that video and then he watched 10 hours of videos straight that day. Through finding my videos, it's given him a new direction. He's playing guitar, he's changed the way he looks at things. This is a Taniwa, a Maori water monster necklace. And according to custom, you can't buy yourself one. It must be presented or given for a reason. It's usually given to someone when they do something impressive or outstanding, but sometimes it is given from one person to another when they've shown one of the true characteristics of Taniwa, that of a guardian. I would like to present you with this Taniwa carving for being a guardian to me in my hour of darkness. Thank you very much. So this is what he's sent me. This is the Taniwa, and thank you so much. I mean, that's, you can't really quite explain how much that means. Thank you very much. Oh, okay, moving on. So, from Gardener Ablet. And Gardener's just written me just a really nice letter to say thank you for all the videos and tell me about his favourite guitar players and how much he enjoys all the stuff that we do. And it's just such a nice letter. Thank you so much, mate. Okay, Mr. Lee Aitchison from North Lanarkshire, Scotland. This is actually to me and Lee. Hey guys, sorry to bug you, but I was wondering if you could give me some help and advice, always. So this guy, he joined the army. He was injured while serving in the army, medically discharged, and now unfortunately he's disabled and in a wheelchair. And he was a drummer, so obviously now he can't drum because he can't use his legs to activate the pedals. There are ways around that, but it sounds like drumming is off the menu for him now. So essentially he's asking what should he get with a moderate budget, guitar gear wise, to progress. And he's looking for an amp and he's looking for a guitar. He's not asking for a handout, he's just saying with a small budget, what would you get? Is there a reason to choose a Les Paul over a PRS? Or a Marshall over an Orange? The question of is one thing better than another? Well, the answer is yes to the ears of the beholder. I think the crux of the issue here is that if you're not sure what it is that you want to buy and you're not sure which is better than something else, it's because you haven't got the experience of playing it or trying it, and you're not necessarily sure what you want to create. Because if you want to create blues music, or if you want to create grunge music or metal music, then that's going to lead you down the path into some certain specific gear areas. So if it's blues, you're more likely, but not necessarily bound to get something like a Strat or a Telly. And if you're really into metal, you're more likely to get something that's more oriented, you know, higher output pickups, that kind of thing. So it sounds to me like Lee Aitchison isn't 100% sure what kind of music he wants to output, and he's not tried a lot of gear. Now, if I were you, mate, I would go down to a second-hand store and just try a bunch of, or like a local guitar store, and find a bunch of second-hand guitars and try them all. Second-hand gear is where I started my musical life, and I just traded up, and I went through like 3 or 4 guitars in a year, trading up every time. But the great thing there is that A, it's affordable, but also you get a lot of experience playing different kinds of guitar until you actually go and buy a new one if you want to, and you know more what you're after when you've gone through second-hand instruments. Good luck. Okay, this letter's from Lise Moorcroft, and she writes in a really interesting way and kind of all over the place, but a very nice letter. I think she should be a writer, actually. I wanted to ask a favour, nothing mad, global, nothing of personal harm, possible paper cuts, if not concentrating. Lise and her son are both fans of my videos. Apparently he would be absolutely mortified by her contacting me. Hey dude. So apparently her son came to see me in Birmingham when we were on tour, and he got a CD and got a Dave t-shirt. It looks like her son couldn't come to the last gig because it was a different area and he had some exams coming up. The question is there new merchandise I could get him? And the biggie, would you send him a card to encourage him? Words of wisdom, wiseness, joy, musical wonderment kind of thing, smiley face. Absolutely. Card on its way as of today's lunchtime. And yeah, in terms of merchandise from Dorje, we have a lot online, and there'll be a link in the Show More section below. I don't want this to be a sales video, but just in the Show More section there'll be a link to the store, and I'll send them a card. Apparently my voice is so Now I'm not sure whether means or but it's one of those. And then there's a series of PPSs up to PPPS. We're going all out for a ghost fret. Tell me how many, this is around the corner, tell me how many times have you been asked, why do you need to consider another guitar? Basically, you need 3 guitars, maybe 4, maybe 83. You need 1 for standard tuning, 1 for an alternative tuning, and 1 as a backup. Probably the Holy Trinity, and that will sort you out. Thank you so much, Ms. Moorcroft, and good luck to your family. I shall send you a card to Staffordshire. This is a letter from Brendan Kaler from the USA. So Brendan is looking for new gear. This is quite a common theme in a lot of the mail emails that I get. Basically, he's saying at the moment he's got a Washburn Betancourt signature model, which he doesn't like, which I find quite surprising because they're pretty good guitars. And a Fender Psychic Reverb 25 watt amp, which is pretty good. He's got about £1,000 budget, or $1,000 budget. And he's thinking about getting an Epiphone Les Paul Plus Dot Pro and a Marshall DSL 401 amp. What would I recommend? It's really tricky, man. I wouldn't personally go for an Epiphone if you've got that kind of a budget, and I would spend way more of the money on the guitar than the amplifier, and even spend all of it on the guitar and just get some software to begin with, unless you're gigging. I mean, if you're out gigging, then if the venues have cabs, get a head, get a small head, like a Tiny Terror, something like an HD5 head, or one of the bass breaker heads. They're really good, Fender bass breaker heads. But spend as much of the budget as you can on the guitar, because that's really kind of the second part of the chain: fingers, guitar, amp, audience. He's having problems motivating himself to really practice and sort of get into things. And I think motivation is something that a lot of people struggle to find when they're amidst their daily life. We all have shit to do. I mean, it's hard living, let alone finding the energy to be involved in music. And I think the key there really is you need to find what the little switches are in your life. So for me, it's a great coffee, a good breakfast, go walk my dog, put on some Malmsteen or some Satriani or some Steve Vai or some Metallica or some Pantera or some Slayer, or anything that I really feel the vibe for that day. And then I go, yeah, I want to jam, I want to play, I want to shred. And I'll play and play and play. And then I think, I want to shoot a video, and I'll shoot a video. It's just, it has to go with the flow. But you gotta, that's a great tune by the way, but you gotta think, what are your triggers? What helps you? What makes you feel good? Put yourself in that place any way you need to, unless it's drugs. He's listening to Kashmir by Zeppelin as he writes this letter. You're gonna go a long way, sir. So he's saying that his timing sucks and he can't keep time at all. He wants to start a band. How does he improve timing? Well, the hard and fast answer there, dude, is that you need to have a lot more experience playing with a band, because timing isn't always something that's rigid. This is going to sound a bit controversial, but really good live bands will work with the drummer. And not every drummer works to a click. Mine does, which is great, but some don't. And sometimes it's important to go with the flow, move things around a little bit. But you need to be connected to your drummer. And you get that from a lot of experience playing live, but also work with a metronome, slowly, not quickly, and drop your shoulders and relax your body, because if everything's up here, you tend to be ahead of the beat, If you're relaxed, you'll be on it or behind it. And he says it's very frustrating being just another bedroom guitarist who will never get discovered and make a name of himself. Now I think this really highlights your issue, is a lack of self-belief, because every single guitarist on earth was a bedroom guitarist. There's nothing wrong with being a bedroom guitarist. You know, Joe Satriani was a bedroom guitarist. You just need to have the right positive mental attitude, and you need to tell yourself that you can do it. The music industry is huge because every single human being on earth has a pair of ears, and the majority of them work. So you're reaching a lot of people. Don't knock yourself before other people have had the chance to knock you. You know what I mean? The only person in your way is you. Can't never did nothing. Mr. Kaler's from Wisconsin, one of the best places on earth, because one of the best series of all time, that 70s show, is based there. And he asked if we could exchange pics, which would be cool, but I can't make out your address. I know it's Wisconsin, Oconomowoc. So if you are Brendan Kaler, I think the best thing to do would be to send me an email and tell me what it was you were thinking of calling your band in the heritage of your nationality, and I'll know it's you, and then I'll send you a pic. Okay, the last one today is from Germany. This is from Adam DeVille. And basically Adam was just saying thank you so much for the work. He's told me some of the gear that he's used, and said that unfortunately he's suffered from depression and found it difficult. It's caused issues with being in bands. I think depression is a lot more common than people think, and it comes from a requirement for deep rest. There's obviously triggers of people that fire off when you're going through a difficult time, and people often need to evaluate and go inside and think about what it is that may have caused some of these things that put people down and make it difficult. But just know, I love all of you, and thank you so much for all of the letters and emails and comments and things over the years. Maybe I'll do another one of these, I don't know. It's a very different kind of video for me. I get a bit embarrassed opening letters and reading things that are nice about me, but I figured it was a good way to show people respect for the things they'd sent me. So thank you so much, take it easy, look after yourselves, Chappers out.